We won't be talking about weather because we got nothing to talk about. We're gonna talk about weather because there is shed loads to talk about. If we think the English weather is a myth, we might change our minds in the coming weeks, because UK government has decided to officially start messing with the weather using something called cloud seeding. And yes, they've been doing that for years, but they've been always denying it. But this time, they are doing this officially. They're not even trying to hide it. It is crazy. So hear me out. They came out and made it public as a £50 million government program. I have to be very honest with you. People who's living in the UK, they have something to worry about in the coming weeks and months. Official reason for cloud seeding is that the government have to fight with the global warming. Professor Mark Symes from the UK Advanced Search and Invention Agency said this: "Uncomfortable truth is that our current warming trajectory makes several tipping points distinctly possible over the next century. This has driven increased interest in approaches that might actively cool the world in a short time frame to avoid these tipping points." But do you actually think that is the main reason? Because I don't. But before we dive into why we don't believe and why this might be a terrible, even deadly idea, let's quickly talk about the cloud seeding in general. What is the cloud seeding and how people doing cloud seeding? So simplest possible option to explain is people send the airplane above the clouds. They dropping special substances into the cloud, and mainly this is dry ice and silver iodide, and these substances help water droplets, which are condensed in the clouds already. They help them to stick together and make them bigger and heavier, so eventually when they are big enough, they just drop from the clouds as a snow or as a rain. That sounds pretty harmless, and when I heard that, yeah, it sounds pretty harmless. The whole cloud seeding process is pretty harmless, but trust me, there are things that make it way more complicated. Because at first glance, it sounds like they are just trying to stop or at least delay the effect of climate change. But here is my question. Is that really the whole story? I don't know about you, but when I first heard this thought, this idea, it straight away made me thinking, like, if they start making more clouds and more rain, isn't the UK going to be even more depressing than already is? Because we are already dealing with illegal migration, rising living costs, crime happening in the broad light, and now they decide on the top of all this shit, they want to make the weather even worse, cloudier? Is there a word? Cloudier? If there is, yeah, they want to make it cloudier, darker, colder, and they want to create more rain. Just think about how weather can affect people's mood. Just imagine how it affects your mood. When was the last time when you just came out from the house and you saw a dark clouds and rain and your mood instantly dropped? And that's how it is with 95% of us. That's how we act. When we see the shed weather, we straight away getting like kind of depressed, not major depressed, but the mood already straight away changes. And now just imagine that the government can do that anytime they want. Isn't that weird? Isn't that plant a bit of a seed in your mind? And here is the real kicker. Up until now, they've been denying that any cloud seeding was happening in the UK. And why it is a kicker? Because this really matters, that they will make it officially now. Because the moment it's official, they are also openly responsible for whatever happened next. And trust me, the consequences of cloud seeding can be literally deadly. Like back in 1952, when UK government denied they were running any cloud seeding experiments until a massive flood in Lynmouth killed 34 people and left nearly 500 people homeless. And even then, They denied. We weren't running any cloud seeding in the area. But in 2013, the Department of Energy and Climate Change released documents proving that the government have founded cloud seeding experiments in 1950s. And here is what they say. The UK government founded cloud seeding experiments in 1950s, but DECC does not hold any information on these experiments, which it's weird, and it's also still kind of denying that it was the government's fault. And as they denying right now that any cloud seeding activities are running in the UK, and when Lord Hunt from the Department of Energy Security was asked about if we're running anything about like cloud seeding right now in the UK, he obviously denied that any cloud seeding are even planned to be. And it's not like we just don't believe and that's it. Because here is the problem with cloud seeding. It's not a problem until it's become a problem. And just look at the Dubai in 2024. They use cloud seeding and it caused massive, insane flooding. But here is the difference. Dubai has the resources to clean up the mess in like 2 or 3 days. UK? We don't have these resources. We can't even handle 2 days of snow. We're literally going into the lockdown when we have 2 days of snowing. So if something goes wrong, like flooding or anything, we might be literally paralyzed for months. Let's be honest, people and UK fragile economy can't handle nothing like that. Just imagine that now people have to rebuild houses, they cannot go to work and all that stuff. How people will handle that? On the top of this, what's happening right now in the UK. Economy cannot handle that. And when we are on the economy topic, here's what really blows my mind. The UK government just invested £200 million into the solar panels and green energy. And now they are planning to block the sun with more clouds. What is the point? Why are we making all this green investment if we just going to undo them by stopping sunlight from reaching us? Wouldn't this money be invested better off in NHS, roads, schooling system, or fighting the illegal migration? Sometimes I feel like UK government trying to destroy this country from the inside. Businesses are leaving. Good, hard-working families are packing up and going back to their home countries because they cannot see the future in here. I'm gonna be honest, I wish that UK would get back on track. But honestly, when I see what's happening right now, I'm not sure what's going to happen next. I can't imagine how the UK can look in like 10 years if all this weird stuff will keep happening in the UK. So yeah, cloud seeding isn't just the thing that's gonna run on the side of our lives. Cloud seeding can literally affect lives of millions of people. Anyway, for now, I will be going and I wish you all the best and stay safe. If you want, obviously you can subscribe and like and all that stuff so the channel can grow.